All of my life I danced to your tune, don't staying on beat, don't staying on tempo. As a youngin' I followed your footsteps, got me
For a
feeling.
long time, I thought people pleasing was just who I was, that I was naturally accommodating, easygoing, understanding. But the truth is, it wasn't my personality, it was survival. And once I realized that, everything started to make sense. So, welcome back to Into the Dark with the PK. So, growing up as a preacher's kid, I learned early how to read the room for real. You know, I can tell like who to approach, who not to approach, who was, you just kind of just, I could feel shifts in the energy before anyone said a word, I knew when to stay quiet, when to smile, when to adjust. You just kind of learn how to be around different people for real. That's a very important thing. My dad always taught me, it's good to have different faces because you're going to encounter different people, and it's good to be able to adjust yourself depending on the group you're in. And yeah, so that's something that I learned to do is just, I can get along with anybody, and I can fit into any really type of crowd for real. But that skill was more praised. I was told I was mature, selfless, easy. What nobody asked was like how much of myself I was shrinking to be that way. You know what I mean? Like how much of my true self was I hiding to be able to fit in with everybody, to be able to just be liquid, and I think that right there had a big effect on me, and it's nobody's fault or nothing like that. It's just our environment, you know. It teaches us how to adapt, and we just, even as kids, we picking up on every little thing. We learning every little thing that around us. Our environment shapes us really a whole lot, and like in our childhood development, and that's really what was happening there. When approval equals safety, you don't learn how to disappoint people. You learn how to anticipate them. You learn how to say yes before you even know what you need. And over time, that become automatic. You know, my hardest thing was saying no. To be honest with you, and that's the craziest thing. Is like, as bad as I wanted to say no, I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings or make anybody mad or, just upset anybody else. I just wanted to make everybody happy, and I just wanted to see people smile because that what made me smile. That what made me feel better, and that's what I did. So, there's a cost to being easy. There's a cost, being easy to love. That came with a cost. I struggle with boundaries. I feel, guilty for needing rest. I question myself consistently. Like, why? Like, why can't I say no? Why I gotta, allow this, and I know I really don't want to, and it just, it became a lot on me, and when I did speak up, I was worried about being selfish. But I got called selfish when I was younger. And I used to hate that because like I was like, I'm not selfish. Like I do so much. Like you don't understand like what I do and how hard it is for me to say no, and like for me to say no in a situation and you call me selfish is like it was very hurtful, because I'm a very selfless person, so it didn't make sense. And then, you know, the people or the person it was coming from, it was like, okay, it hurt a little worse, you know. And I think I was 21, 22, and I had somebody tell me, like, you're not selfish. They just mad they can't get what they want. And I was like, yo, you might be right. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense for them to be calling me selfish because I told them no. And they take it as trying to hurt my feelings with getting what they want. So it's like, nah, that's not what we doing. You know, that's when I really started to learn, like, okay, certain people get so much, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get certain things out of me because I know how you move, or I know just if I don't do something, what you gonna say? You know, and I didn't want anybody to play on my heart or my mind like that, you know. People pleasing is often talked about like a flaw, for real. But for many of us, it was a coping strategy. And I think, you know, that was something for me. You know, it helped me feel better, you know, because I don't know why, honestly. To this day, I couldn't tell you why, you know, but it really was. And it made, I always said, like I said before, like, it made me happy to see other people happy. So people pleasing came easy. Like a way to stay connected and a way to stay safe. It made sense, especially in environments where like the harmony mattered more than the honesty. Like they cared about getting along versus you being real. You know what I mean? That right there, just not really. It's something I don't care about. Like now, I'm learning to be more honest and trying to keep somebody happy. You know what I'm saying? Because my feelings matter too. And to learn that right there, that my feelings matter, taught me, well, it made me have to unlearn certain patterns, you know? And like, unlearning people pleasing doesn't mean becoming harsh or unkind. It just means like learning that your needs don't make you difficult. Like, and it means realizing that saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you honest. And you being true with yourself is what's most important, because you're supposed to make you happy. You know, can't nobody make you happy but you, for real. Like, people can add happiness to you, but for the long-term happiness, it depends on you, and it depends on yourself, because if you're not happy, nobody can make you happy long enough for it to actually mean something. Trust me, I know. And you know, if you're listening and you feel responsible for everyone's comfort, if you're tired of being the one who understands, adjusts, and absorb, I want you to know this. You didn't become this way because you're weak. You became this way because you were paying attention. You adjusted to your environment. And just now, to really not be such a people pleaser, we have to be more pleasing to ourselves. And we have to love ourselves We have to learn ourselves. We have to give ourselves grace. We have to understand that the people around us shouldn't be able to affect us the way we have allowed them to affect us. It's okay to speak up. It's okay to use your voice. It's okay to be honest. It's okay to say no. It's okay to not want to be bothered. It's okay to not want to do anything. It's okay to just be who you are. You don't have to make everybody happy. Making everyone happy can drain you. And when you're left with nothing, who's coming to refill your cup? So always make sure that your cup is full and you're taken care of. And don't ever let anyone empty your cup. You are responsible for your own cup, and you can do it no matter how hard it seems. Healing doesn't start by judging the version of you that survived. It starts by thanking them and slowly learning how to live differently. It's because we want different, right? That's why we have to learn how to live differently. Is because we want differently. Just know this process is gonna be worth it in the end. And it's not really a long episode, but I just wanted, to come this week and just really, say some words and just, just talk to you just a little bit. I just really wanted you to know that, like, you don't always have to be a people pleaser, because I'm still trying to learn to live differently and trying to learn to be different and trying to learn that it's okay to be different. In the next episode, we'll talk about guilt and why it shows up so loudly when you start choosing yourself. So, thank y'all for being here. This is Into the Dark with a PK. Make sure y'all follow me on all social medias. I'll link the links below, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube. Thank y'all again. Peace out.